Hello, book lovers. So this week is week 1 of the Better Book Review, and I'm trying to think about some of the things that have been going on in the world lately, in regards to which book I was going to review first. So I was thinking about SOPA. SOPA, if you haven't heard about it, is been bringing up some ideas about censorship and what can be considered as restricting to intelligent thought. There's been a lot of books over the years that have been censored, and even just as many books about censorship. One of my personal favorite books about censorship was actually originally published as a short story called The Fireman in a science fiction magazine in 1950. It got such a great review that it was published in 1953 in a longer version called Fahrenheit 451 by Ray Bradbury. If you haven't heard about this book, you should have, and some of you probably have read it in high school or pretended to read it in high school, and if you pretended to read it, go back, actually read it. It's an amazing book. It's a classic Ray Bradbury novel, Ray Bradbury story in general, actually, in the idea that it's very suspenseful, it's very intricately worded, it's surreal, almost dreamlike, and in the almost dreamlike sense, it's kind of almost disconnected. There's parts of the story that he'll go through part of it, and then he'll leave it behind, and you don't really think about it, you don't really understand how it connects until near the end. The basic plot, it is in a world in the future, or I suppose even now, since it was written in 1950, where there are no books. Books are illegal. And it doesn't really matter that books are illegal. People are still entertained by this constant barrage of media and sound and pretty much plotless storylines that are thrown at them every moment of every day. It's just mindless entertainment, and in that mindless entertainment, it's a disconnect from reality. There's no true connection to your fellow man. The main character is Guy Montag, and he plays a fireman. If you are familiar with the story, you may be familiar with the fact that he's not a regular fireman in the way that we think of firemen. He's not the fireman that stops fires, he's the fireman that starts fires. In this future world where books are illegal, books are censored, if you're caught with a book, the firemen will come into your house and they'll burn all the books. And that's Guy Montag's job. But Guy Montag, even from the beginning of the story, he's kind of having trouble with the idea of, why are we burning these books? What makes them bad? Why are people martyring themselves so that they can stand up for these useless pieces of paper? They're just words. They don't mean anything. And Fahrenheit 451 follows Guy Montag's journey from what we would think of as the villain, being this guy who is censoring, who's burning books, into something entirely different. It's not a happy story, but it's a good story. So in the Better Book Review, we have 4 different ratings for books, and they are: please don't read this, worth checking out, buy this book, and capital G, great. For Ray Bradbury's Fahrenheit 451, I give it a capital G, great. It's an amazing novel. It may be something that's a bit heavy if you're not used to reading classic literature, but it's not exactly like The Metamorphosis. It's a very easy to read. It's a very easy to read wording. The hard part is more understanding, comprehending, really thinking about it. And that's the whole point of this book. It makes you think about, what would a world without books be like, and what would drive us to have a world without books. So yes, Fahrenheit 451 by Ray Bradbury. I highly recommend you read it and then go and tell everyone and their mother about it. It's a great book. It's a reason it's a classic. It's a reason it's been around for a long time, and I hope to God it never gets burned. So I will see you guys next week. If you have any ideas on what you would like to be reviewed next, leave them in the comments. And have a wonderful week of reading.